Hey, what's up? Joe in Vegas here. Another review, another show. This is an interesting one. I went to, it's called the Mixtape Tour. I think that's what they call it. They do it every year. It's essentially a New Kids on the Block show that has a couple guests or opening acts. For this tour, every year they kind of change it up, or every time they tour, they change up who the opening acts are. This year, the three opening acts they had were Vogue, Rick Astley, Salt and Pepper, and then New Kids on the Block. So I'll be very honest with you. I've seen New Kids on the Block years ago. I got free tickets for the show. It was one of these mixtape tours. It had like Paula Abdul and New Kids on the Block and Tommy Two Tone. I remember it being a lot of fun. I remember I was very surprised with New Kids on the Block. You know, they play big arenas. They're not playing small venues. They're still 30, 40 years later. They're still packing in huge arena, so good for them. And then you throw those extra ones on there, and it sells a lot more tickets. So, Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block. Obviously, not my style of music, not my normal style of music. I decided to go to this because I've never seen Salt and Pepper, and I've never seen Rick Astley, and both of them remind me very much of my childhood and growing up in the '80s. Um, I think subconsciously I'm on a mission to see as every band I can imagine. So if I have an opportunity to see a band for the second or third time versus seeing someone like a Rick Astley or a Salt and Pepper, well, I'll never get a chance to see again. Then fuck yeah, I'm gonna go see the new people. It's just my personal thing. As far as this show goes, I was expecting, like I said, I was expecting In Vogue to open up, and then Rick Astley would come on, and then Salt and Pepper would come on, and then New Kids on the Block would finish the show. Excuse me. Boy, was I wrong. I was not expecting that. This is not how they did it last time, if I remember. So it kind of had two stages. There was the main stage with an out thing that went into the crowd, and then there was a second stage not too far away, but on the other side of the floor. And what the show started, and out of the gate, New Kids on the Block opened up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they played like, I thought maybe they would do one song just to hype up the crowd and then go back in. They ended up playing like four songs, five songs. I'll go through the set list. I'm like, how is this possible? And then they stopped, and then En Vogue came on, and they did two of their big hits, and then En Vogue went away, and then on the second stage, all of a sudden Rick Astley popped up, and he did two songs. But then he didn't do the big one. Never gonna give you up. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Because it became very apparent that this was going to be a big mishmash. It's essentially a mixtape. It's what they called it. So, but it was just a mishmash. It was a nonstop two stages. I looked it up quickly. There was like probably 38 songs total. And it was just bouncing from stage to stage. Two songs here, one song here, three songs here, five songs here. And you didn't know who was coming out next. You didn't know who was coming out of the darkness. And I don't think I've ever seen a show like that. And they jammed so much into 2.5 hours. They give it to you, man. If this is your genre and your style, you are gonna love this fucking show. It is non-stop hits. New Kids on the Block are great. I was trying to figure it out the whole time. I'm trying to figure out why are they still good? And I think one of the things I realized, and I don't mean to sound superficial, but let's face it, this is a bubblegum, boy band. They fucking look great, all of them. They look great. They're in better shape now than they were back then. They were doughy '80s kids, little chubby, skinny, whatever. But now they're all fucking ripped. They all look great. They all got full heads of hair. They all have perfect teeth. I don't know how all these guys never go bald. There's got to be one hair restoration dude that just does all the fucking celebrities and all the musicians, because I don't understand it. These guys are mid 40s and they honestly look like they're late 20s. All of them. They look great, and I think that helps because you don't see five older, aging guys on stage playing old stuff and you're like, oh, isn't that sad? It's not like that. Plus, they move. I'll give them credit for that. That's on them. These guys are dancing their ass off. They're running around stages. They are moving the same way they did when they were in their teens. And I think that's what makes it work. They have a lot of good songs. And when the visuals aren't like, you go to see the Stones. I saw the Stones a couple months ago. They sound perfect. God bless Mick Jagger. He's running around the stage, but they fucking look old. And when you see them, you're like, man, We're getting old. Life's old. You know, they don't have much time left. That's not the vibe you get from these guys. You feel like you're back in the 80s or 90s, whatever the hell they were. So it was really interesting to see that. They were very youthful. So anyway, a side note, I know Donnie is married to Jane. What's her name? Jenny McCarthy. So she was front row. He called her out a couple times. He kept leaning over and kissing her. I'll put some pictures in. I took some pictures of that. So that was kind of cool to see. She also she was just fanboying out like everybody else. So it was cool. All right, let me go through this massive monster set list. So they opened up with Block Party, My Favorite Girl, Dirty Dancing, which they put a Patrick Swayze clip from the movie Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner up on the screen. They were giving it to these 80s people. I mean, the pre-recorded music before they even got on was all Don't You Forget About Me and whatever that song is. And all those 80s fucking monster songs, they were just hammering home that this is going to be a fun 80s night and a fun time. So just sit back and enjoy. They did Summertime, Cover Girl, You Got It, The Right Stuff. Is that what The Right Stuff is called? I thought it was called The Right Stuff. And then the song Whisper. And then it went dark. And then all of a sudden, En Vogue shows up. I think there used to be 4 of them. There were 3 of them now. They did My Lovin', Never Gonna Get It, and they did Free Your Mind. Again, none of this is really my style of music, but you can't deny how big En Vogue was back in the day. They were huge. They were freaking huge. And they had monster hits, and they really kind of disappeared. You don't hear about them at all. So it was cool to see that. And then again, boom, lights go out. All of a sudden, the lights pop up on the second stage, almost instantaneously. There's no break, and Rick Astley standing on the second stage, and he breaks into one of his big ones, Together Forever. You know, he sounds great. He's got that same Together Forever. He sounds perfect. He sounds exactly. He's wearing a suit, very polished, very looks also full head of hair. Looks young too. I don't know what the fuck everybody's doing. So he did Together Forever, and then he did It Would Take a Strong, Strong Man. Boom, lights go off. All of a sudden, new kids pop up on a different stage. Then they did a little mix. I think there was one time where there was a DJ on the screen. It felt like they were just doing little pieces. I think this was the part of the show of different songs. House Party, New Kids on the Block, Hold On, Full Service, Return to Mac, Call It What You Want. Then they had Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. Very cool light show. They really gave it. I mean, I'll give them credit. Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, Twisted. And then remix, I Like the something. I don't know what that is. Then boom, lights go out. All of a sudden, Salt and Pepper pop up on the other stage. They look good. They sound great. They sounded really good. I actually thought they were better. They had more songs than I remembered, and they're really a throwback to a certain time. They were really the originals doing that stuff back then. They did None of Your Business, Expression, Let's Talk About Sex, Shake Your Thing, and What a Man. Also some monster songs. And again, I thought that was that set, but they didn't play Push It, and Rick Astley didn't play Never Gonna Give You Up, and that's why I was so confused. I'm like, wait, they can't be done. So that's when I realized. Around this time was when I realized, oh, this is just a mishmash of everything. Boom, lights go out. Boom, next stage pops up, and Vogue is there. And they did Don't Let Go, which was another massive hit for them. Boom, lights go out. So they just did one song that time. Boom, lights go out. And then New Kids on the Block show up on the other stage. They did Please Don't Go Girl, which was one of their big ballads. Games, Tonight, which I actually like that song. It always sounds a little like Beatles song to me. And then they did this 80s mix of Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Poison, I Want to Dance with Somebody, You Shook Me All Night Long, Living on a Prayer, California Love. So they did this actually they didn't do, excuse me, they didn't do California Love. I'm reading the California set list. I think they stopped with Living on a Prayer, if I remember correctly. And then boom, lights go out, Rick Astley pops up. Never Gonna Give You Up. They're Never Gonna Give You. All of a sudden, Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. He popped out, and then he did a song called "Cry for Help," which I don't think I knew. Boom, lights go out. Boom, Salt and Pepper shows up on the other stage. I'm telling you, this is a lot. It just kept coming. They did the song "Shoot," which was a big one for them. Donnie Wahlberg jumped on stage with them for that. Boom, lights went out. So that's what you were getting. You were getting hits. One song here, 2 songs, 3 songs, 4 songs. It was so much going on. Boom, New Kids back on the thing. Baby, I Believe in You. Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time? Valentine Girl, If You Go Away, and then I'll Be Loving You Forever, which was also a big ballad. Boom. Lights went out. Boom. And Vogue was on another stage. They did the song Hold On. Boom. Lights went out. Boom. New Kids on the Block on their stage doing Step by Step. And then lights went out again. Boom. Salt and Pepper show up. They did Push It. And then New Kids on the Block came out and did Hangin' Tough. And then I think this is a different set list at the end. And then they all came out. And then Rick did Never Gonna Give You Up. And then Bring Back the Time by New Kids. I think that's how it ended. So there was a lot going on. That's why I'm a little confused. There was a lot going on. It was nonstop. But hey, they know who they are, and I think that's why it's a good show. They know where they stand in music history. I think they're at the point, they're like a Nickelback. It's like, fuck you all hate us. We don't care. We're still selling out stadiums. We still sold 50, 100 million records. We're all rich. There's stadiums of people, mainly 40-year-old women, but and me. And there's mainly people still screaming that they love you, and they just have fun with it. They all look fun. Everybody looked like they were having fun and being happy and kind of settled into where they are in the history of music. And they're making money, and that's supporting their families. And what else do you want from them? These guys are showmen, and they put on a show. That was a show. That's what we're there for. You bought tickets to the show, and they put on a show. If you love the 80s, and you're not stuck, stick up your ass, and you're a music fucking snob, and you can just go out and get drunk and hear a bunch of songs you remember from 30 years ago, you'll have the best time. You'll have the best time. And for that, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it an 8.75. It's just it's not my style of music, but I really appreciate the music. It served a purpose to a lot of people, and it was a heck of a show, and it was enjoyable. I didn't find it to be unenjoyable at any times. It was just barrage of stuff. So that's it. This review is getting way too long, just because it was so much going on. It was so much to talk about. I had to get a little long. So thanks for listening. If you've seen them, if you've seen any of these bands, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I will see you at the next show. Bye-bye.